Hey there, commercial construction coffee talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Corson. I'm the publisher of Commercial Construction Renovation magazine. Hope you all had a great weekend. Myself, drove up to Ohio 7 hours on Saturday. Went to my sister's 60th birthday. She flew in from New York to see my parents. Haven't seen her in a while. Watched her blow out some candles. Another trip around the sun for my sister Wendy. So good for her. Then drove back. I brought my son with me. Drove back and did the 7 hour round down. So it was about a 14-hour round trip in about a 24-hour period. So I'm back in my saddle here this week, getting ready. And I'll tell you, it was beautiful. If you haven't been through the Tennessee mountains, it's been a while. Normally I go to Nashville or Chattanooga. It's highway. But you go up to Ohio, you go through northern Georgia, you go through Tennessee, Knoxville, up through the mountains. Awesome ride. I wish I was on my motorcycle. Then you come down into Kentucky, horse, countryside, beautiful green pastures. And then you come into Ohio, went over the Tennessee River, the Kentucky River, the Ohio River. I mean, America's a beautiful place. And what's amazing is, if you really take a look, God, the men and women that built the highway system to go through the roads and cut through the concrete and the rock, man, my hat's off to them. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be able to survive. So when they did the intercontinental system, man, they just did an unbelievable job. So hats off to them. But it was a really enjoyable trip. Had some fun with my son and cut some jokes and saw some crazy stuff. Even we're going to stop by the Sasquatch Museum in northern Georgia to see if Bigfoot is really alive, but we'll hit that next time because it was some serious rain and we were running out of time. Like, we'll come back up here and see if Bigfoot's really around. So with that, hope you all had a great weekend, starting the weekend on a positive note. Remember, wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay positive, be cognizant of your surroundings, wear the mask. I had to wear the mask at Kentucky and Ohio. Couldn't get into my hotel room without it. So depending on where you're at, you got to wear the mask, wear it, be safe. Better safe than sorry. So tonight, got a really cool gentleman. His name is Chip Ashley. He's the National Development Project Executive for CEI. They're a jack of all trades. They do engineering, project management. They play in all those different sectors: retail, restaurants, shopping center, entertainment. They do everything. And they've got answers for all of you end users out there that are trying to deal with, whether it's reopening or remodeling or dealing with COVID and, all that stuff. So Chip, say hello to our listeners out there.
Hey guys, hope you're having a good night.
And where are you based?
I'm actually in our corporate office here in Bentonville, Arkansas.
And the home of Walmart, if I'm not
That's right.
mistaken, am I correct?
That's right.
How could you not know that? The largest retailer in the country, in your backyard, but they had to start off one store. Now they got thousands. So taking on Amazon, competition, Target, all those guys, all the big boxes. It's exciting every day to see, what's going on, because every day's fluid in retail. Everything's evolving. Everything's not the same. Pre-COVID, everybody was just cruising along. Now, into COVID, it's like every day everybody's trying to figure out another way to survive and maintain their customer base and gain more market share and keep their stock prices going up. So it's exciting stuff. I always watch the news in the morning, see what's going on before I start my day. So anyway, Chip, as always, you got to tell your story. We want to know where you grew up before we get into the nitty and gritty of your business. We want to know where you grew up, where you went to school, college, don't leave any skeletons out. We want to hear all the good stuff. If you're married, you got kids, you got any dogs, and, tell us everything. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
so the show is yours.
I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas, and was kind of a farm kid. And as part of that, when I was 12, 13 years old, I was driving the pickup truck to the farm, and I was building fences and doing hay. And my dad paid me a whopping $3 an hour, which even then was like dirt. So I was doing that all summer, and then I started cutting grass like for a neighbor who's making like $20 an hour.
Yeah.
So I like, yeah, I know what it means to go to school and not have to just put poles in the ground. So working for the man didn't do quite as well as being innovative and working for yourself. So I kind of learned that early on, being a problem solver and those kinds of things for being a farm kid and kind of running my own little business when I was pretty young, just cutting some yards and things like that. But anyway, graduated out of Little Rock, went to school for a couple of years in Nashville, Tennessee, and then transferred to the University of Arkansas. So I'm Razorback for better or worse. Usually better, but sometimes worse. But anyway, University of Arkansas, I ended up interning at CEI, as David mentioned, is a consulting firm. We do a lot of civil engineering, landscape architecture, land surveying for all things retail, but also Bentonville is actually getting to be known as a mountain bike capital.
Oh, wow.
There's over 200 miles of mountain bike trails in Arkansas. We have a lot of people that come from Atlanta to come ride the trails. So we built quite a few of those and just kind of do all the things there in Northwest Arkansas, but also we're a national firm, and I kind of cut my teeth on those 3 years interning and then becoming a project manager shortly after that, after graduating, and just kind of working all over the U.S. from California to Florida to Maryland and Texas, Georgia, Atlanta, those kinds of things. So, but as my adult life, I've lived mostly in Bentonville, though I have lived in Atlanta for 6 years of that. So it was a good time at Georgia during the Great Recession. Remember those days?
Oh yeah, no, I've been in Atlanta since '92, so I saw everything get built for the Olympics, and then I went through 9/11, and then the '08 economy fell off the cliff, and so I've seen it all.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I got things I love from Georgia and things I love from the kind of the southern Midwest. I was kind of a Cardinals fan, and then became a Braves fan, and love the Falcons. Again, I like the Razorbacks for better or worse, right? So
Well, yeah, the SEC, if they open up, you got Georgia coming into Razorback land for the first game of the season. Hopefully they'll play.
It would be great. I'd love to see it. I'm missing me some football right now.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, I tell everybody I'm a Yankee living in the South, so I was a hockey lacrosse player in college, but this is SEC country. If they don't play football here in the South, I think they're going to go crazy. On Saturday. They're not, we don't know if the NFL is going to play, but if they don't play college football, oh my God, because Saturday is time to put the flags on the cars and fly your colors.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Well, now I know you're a Razorback. I'm gonna have to email you during the game. Go Dogs, woof woof.
That's all right.
But actually, I like the Razorbacks. I always pull for those guys. Because Tennessee, not Florida, nope. South Carolina, okay. Vanderbilt, okay. Aggies, but I'm pulling for Arkansas. I want to see those guys, knock off some teams. So
we need all the help we can get for sure. But we'll come back. We're going to come back.
And I know I just heard a guy on the radio. They were talking about the game and the Razorbacks. They've had a little rough time in the SEC the last couple of years. So it's time to get back to their winning ways. The old Orange Bowl days and that kind of stuff. So
absolutely, I'm ready.
Well, let's talk about COVID. Year starts out, everything's going great. National championship game's over, holidays. Everybody's cranking. Cranes are in all the cities. They're building. Everybody's cranking along. All of a sudden, boom, bug came. Everything gets shut down. And then companies have to figure out what the heck they're going to do. And what are they going to do with their clients? What are their clients going to do? What are all the different strategies? How are we going to survive? Because no one knew what was going to happen. And so tell us kind of, piece by piece, how CEI dealt with COVID, how they went through it. Now we're getting into the reopening of and tell us that process and how you worked with your clients.
Wow. David, it's been crazy for everybody. I mean, I think all of us can relate, whatever your position. It's been crazy. But we were pretty well, we've been investing in technology for a while. We probably had 8 or 10% of people working from home already. But we were not ready for a scale up of that magnitude. So when we sent people home pretty fast, and our IT department, they were like, hey, 25%, we can guarantee you 25% will work fine. working from home, but 50% we're going to top out. And you know what? Our stuff worked way better than we expected. I mean, we're about 75% working from home. And it's there's been challenges, like we're all dealing with challenges, but those are the things that make you better, the innovation that goes behind that. And we've got a lot of people work from home. We had a few people that had to stay working at the office, so many of us worked from home, so that the people could be safe that could go into the office. And you have all the gloves and the sanitation, and we have people, just companies are just hired that all they do is go from one side to the other, hitting
Right.
all the hot spots, in addition to what our other cleaning was for our offices. But we got offices in the Northeast that went home almost immediately. We have offices in California that are, all of them are still home. Offices in Texas that have been a little bit in, a little bit out, mostly out though. So yeah, it was crazy, but overall, I mean, we've been really blessed. It's just kind of amazing how well we've been able to kind of navigate those changes and things. So I would say what some of the things that we learned from that was, I do think that we're more productive. I mean, I think our designers, AutoCAD's a pretty challenging program to take mobile, but we were able to do that. And people working at home, it's kind of a different way of working. They don't have to commute, which is a great thing. They're able to work from home. I mean, we all have issues. Obviously, not as fast as in the office. It's just not there, but it's fast enough. And they've been able to work from home. I would say networking has been really challenging, though. I think all of us have learned. I mean, yeah, you can be more productive from home, but how do you meet everybody? How do you keep connecting and communicating? So like you, I mean, we've got several different services that we use, whether it's Teams or it's Google Hangouts or it's Zoom. All the different styles to have some redundancy, because sometimes one of them goes down, you got to continue with business.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what our clients have had to deal with. I mean, they had to deal with, change. We knew change was coming because of what you mentioned earlier. Amazon and Walmart go into battle. People go online, but people don't want to stay online. They want to be able to walk around with their cell phone, and they want to be able to get the same deal in the brick and mortar as they can get online. Or driving in their car, going to which one's got the best deal as to where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And so that change was coming, but just like I was talking about earlier, where we were not quite ready for that, we've been all forced into it. So we're here, it's here, and the innovation that we've seen from some of our clients and our competition and in ourselves it's been kind of a crazy time, but also a really interesting time to be alive. I mean,
I've talked to a lot of architecture, engineering firms, contractors, and many of them have their staffs, cities. A lot of them have their staffs working at home, and they've all said, going into it, very worried about corporate culture, were they going to be productive, how that was all going to work, if they were technologically, they had the infrastructure to actually handle it, the bandwidth, et cetera. And they've all said they've been shocked at how productive people have been. They don't have to spend gas and go through rush hour. I mean, you were in Atlanta. I'm sure the traffic's not in Little Rock. It's not Atlanta, but it's still rush hour. You still got to get up. You still got to go through it. You still got to burn gas. It's mentally draining. Here, you work out of the house. You can have your dog with you. You can get things done. I worked out of my house for a while now, so I was prepared. I hunkered down. It didn't faze me. But a lot of people, it was a big change. And some people need to be in an office, and others can actually get it done. But most of the vendors and even the retailers and so forth that I've spoken with on the podcast, that they were shocked at how productive they could be. Their meetings don't take as long. If they need to get their staff trained in a certain thing like budgeting or estimating, whatever it might be, that they're able to do that. And they had more trust and confidence in their staff as the days kept passing by, and there was no cure and there was no vaccine. And then the months kept going by. I mean, remember, this thing started back, really the snowball was March. I mean, but it was in here before then, but really March is when everything kind of hit the fan. And then people didn't really know how long it was going to last. And now look, we're almost into September
Yeah.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
we're still working at home.
And a lot of us thought it would be done in June. I mean, to be honest, back in early March, we're like, a couple months, we'll be back.
Yeah.
And we, it just goes on and on and on and on. And I think we're getting better at things, but it's still a scary thing. But that innovation is what has been so interesting. Like you said, people working from home. I have gone in the office a couple of times, and you'd be shocked at how much water cooler talk that cuts out into your productivity. Now you need some water cooler talk and that
Yeah.
culture and that connectivity. So we've kind of had to build it in, which I'm sure a lot of people have figured out. I mean, what we've found is the teams who were communicators in the beginning, who were good communicators in the office, became great communicators once they went home. And those who were not good communicators in the office became worse communicators at home. So what
Mhm.
we've had to do is build in, 15, 20-minute meetings in the morning with the teams, 15-minute, how's things going in the evening. There's a lot more structure to how we communicate and how we get information for, between the individuals and the team. And need you to do this, need you to do that. How'd you go? What's up? Those kinds of things. And then building in some, social time, which is a challenge too. 5-hour cocktail times.
Mhm.
Where you're not talking shop so much, but you're getting to know each other and you're building those relationships. So that has been a challenge.
So,
But interesting.
so let's talk. Don't mention any names, but let's talk about some of your customers. What have been some of the innovative things that they've done
Wow.
that without COVID they probably would have never thought about doing.
Yeah. I think we probably all know who, if you go down, think about quick serve restaurants. You probably know the guys who were super innovative in the beginning, and then the other guys were, hey, look across the street, so they started doing it, which that's part of business, But having double drive-throughs, if you already had that, you can move faster. If you were already using iPads to check people out in the drive-through, you were able to move faster, and it still is about convenience. And people want to cook from home for so long. I mean, I've got to have, I got
Oh
to
yeah.
have, it's driving me crazy.
Mhm.
In certain things that I was a little surprised that hasn't caught on quite as fast is, of course, we had the mobile. You could get on your app and you could order your meal and you just go park in a parking space, which is awesome. But there was one client we had that's already got canopies over their parking spaces. And, Georgia, Texas. I mean, even with the air conditioner going, it's hot in your
Oh
car.
yeah. No, it's
And if
hot.
you can go under a shade structure, man, somebody will come to your place over somewhere else. It's because it's 10
Mhm.
degrees cooler under the shade structure.
Mhm.
And Game of Thrones, winter is coming. What's that going to affect with elements? You got to open your window and it's pouring down rain or it's snowing or sleeting. That's going to, people are still wanting to eat out, even in those things. We've had one client that has started, and I think probably your people start to see this, but they are rerouting their drive-through throughout their parking lot to build area for patio.
Oh,
Because you
nice.
can spread people out. If you have some shade structures on a patio, put some landscaping out there, so it's kind of a nice ambiance out there. And you know what? People get spread out. They feel a lot more comfortable being outside and doing those things. So we're starting to see that. I think you've seen some more casual dining where they're maybe near a city square where they had parking just right out front, where they blocked off all the parking and put up some little kind of little barriers for people to sit outside and on the parking spaces, and kind of just making an ad hoc patio out of the parking lot.
Yeah, if you're an inline retailer or a restaurant and you're watching competitors that have the drive-throughs, that's a major disadvantage.
Mhm.
Location, location, location. But who knew that was going to be, the deciding factor of, with COVID and so forth. Sorry, my dogs are barking. But uh, but then that you got to get creative. Figure out, okay, we don't have that. We don't have that drive-through. So what are we going to do to help keep our market share and get some of these people back to come here, because we have just as good food or better than the guy that has the canopies where they got the drive-throughs. So um,
Yeah. So what's better than that is delivering it to your place. We're seeing is people don't want to go to the drive-through. You've got delivery services popping up for both retail and for restaurants. Grubhub, you got different grocery stores delivering groceries. Kind of the problem that we saw before the pandemic was, how do you deal with the last mile of delivery? Well, you got all these services popping up everywhere, where people are, they're out of work. So now I'm a delivery driver for whoever, retail, restaurants, all of it. My parents, they're staying home and haven't been going out. They've figured out who the best delivery are for the grocery stores, which one get the good produce instead of the all bruised up produce, or they grab things, or they miss things, so the competition is going to be high for those elements too. But those are some of the things that we're starting to pop up. What do we do with the last mile on delivery services for retail? It's kind of, some of that's starting to get a sharp point on it for how that may look like in the future. Also, one of the things kind of in that same vein is fulfillment centers, micro fulfillment centers, where people they're not going to the store, their toilet paper and their bounty towels and, things like that. And I'm kind of that way. I mean, I don't really want to go grab that stuff. Even before I did, but I didn't want it. But now I didn't really know that there were things before that you could have done. We have a client that's been doing it since 2006, doing pickup. But some people did it, but people I don't think knew how good it really could be. But people can just have stuff delivered to their house. But you still probably want, if you're going to have a great dinner, you want to get your steaks or your salmon or whatever for a social event. Those things you may want to still go yourself into the store and get. And what we were seeing kind of on the front line was all the smart devices and what they're going to play in the future. Smart homes. There's already technology for smart homes and your smart car and your smart device. And if your partner puts, like, you need to stop and get milk at your smart home, it can communicate to your car or your device when you're going by your favorite store. Hey, get the milk. You pull in and get that now. So it's kind of crazy what things could be in the future.
I was talking to my sister's birthday this weekend. We were talking about, I said, hey, the cell phone, this is like the best tool ever. And if you have a personal email or a text number or a personal phone number, your phone is the most amazing thing. Anyway, someone told me, it's like, there's a program out there that, you can have, and you can be driving down the road on a highway, like in Atlanta, 8 lanes wide, and you can shoot out, hey, Johnny's Pizza, get 2 for 1 or whatever, get off at exit 29, and it's just unbelievable the things that you can do to communicate, to get people to come and look, because everybody's on their phone.
Absolutely.
So everything that you do has got to be tied to this, because this is the magic wand to either get them to come to your house or to get them to come to your store. And you got to have that. And that technology is probably the most amazing thing that I've seen in super speed in such a small amount of time, that people realize, oh my God, we have to have that presence, on that phone. So
absolutely.
What, as far as your clients, are they now, obviously some sectors are better than others, and some of the stores, we knew that they were going to get closed. This was just a catalyst to kind of push them. We all know who they are. And and always retailers are about, look, they closed the older stores, they're redoing others. I never bought into reading a story, oh, people are closing 50 stores, but they're building 20 more new ones. And, you got to go deep into the story to get the positive now. And I always look at a positive when something's negative, because look at this, people are reinventing themselves. They're only the strong survive and the smart survive. So as far as your clients, you got a very diverse client base that you deal with. What do you think their attitudes are, going into the fall? They've got Christmas coming up. Normally everybody's trying to get their stores done by Thanksgiving, because you're a retailer, you're going to make all your money between Thanksgiving and Christmas. What's their attitude right now?
Most of my clients personally have a pretty good attitude. Like you said, I have some that have they've slowed down pretty significantly to conserve cash, and they're doing well, but they've had to kind of pull back. But we've had other clients that actually, when all this happened, they were racing forward, because it wasn't just us that went home. The cities went home too. All the permit people that we deal with, the reviewers, all went home. So it became really a challenge for us to continue the schedule. Like, don't stop the schedule. We have to build, and not just because we want to open, though that was a large part of it, but there's a huge community, contractors, subcontractors, the local community, the the national GCs that they use. All those people's jobs depend on us getting projects through. So we were challenged. We met the challenge. And it's really that personal touch. I mean, we were having to call people. People were home. This guy's sick. He doesn't want to answer the phone. So you just keep going and going and going. But that's what we're known for, is being problem solvers and being innovative. And how do you get the problem solved? So we had to do a lot of techniques that we've learned over the years working nationally. We really have to flex to the jurisdiction, talk like they talk, know what the lingo is that they know. And that really benefited us a lot. Being spread out and being remote, we were already used to calling people and emailing people and trying to be friendly, but firm. And it really benefited us a lot to stay on schedule. And we hit all those numbers. But that's really what we saw, was hold the line, keep it going. We understand there may be some flex in the schedule, but we can't slow down. And we got a ton of stuff in construction right now, which helps a huge amount of things. Helps that local economy, helps our peers, our partners in construction, architecture, tank design, piping design, structure MEPs, and our clients continue moving forward. So we've been really blessed in that. But it was a hard road as well, because sometimes it's really challenging to get people on the phone and to keep that edge. But that was the task that we were called to.
Well, listen, you're a brand. You don't want to pick up the phone and say, hey, man, I pay in 68 and 90 days. Now I got to do 180. Or all those 20 stores I was going to build, they're all going to be put on hold till 2021. They don't even want to pick up the phone. They don't want to see the email come in, So, I've heard war stories from all, especially if you're like in business development. Oh, my God, that's probably the toughest job in the world, unless you have, like I said, personal email or a cell phone to get that guy, or that you can text them to get them to pick up the phone. How are you going to do business? I'm a publisher. The last issue I printed, I told my printer, I'm like, oh my God, I think half my circulation is either furloughed or laid off, or their offices are closed. I don't even know if my magazine's going to get delivered. What am I going to do? So even myself, I had to reinvent myself,
Right.
And we made the hard decision. Hey, we're going to go digital. Now I sent it out to 100,000 people. I had 1.4 million website visits on my site. I mean, it's just insane. But before COVID, I never had those kind of numbers, but now I do. And because everybody's at home. And guess what? Until there's a vaccine, until there's a therapeutic, guess what? The bug's still going to be here. We got to go along with our lives. You got to wear a mask, You got, construction, you got to get along with our lives. So we have to live with the bug. It's just that simple. And, hopefully next year at some point, the bug will come back, they'll get rid of it. The vaccine will work. And, but I think what we're doing right now, a lot of people are going to embrace it. I mean, listen, we're animals. We're not built to be in caves. We're built to socialize.
That's right.
But,
right.
A lot of people, I'm an event guy. I want people to, come down, do my face-to-face events. We just did our virtual retreat this past Thursday and Friday. The women loved it. I had a 2-hour conversation. We did our one-on-ones on the thing, and they said, oh my God, this was great. I didn't have to travel. It was just the right amount of time. You didn't have that cheesy platforms that you go in the fake, exhibit hall. We just made it simple. And it was the first one that we had done. I've done smaller ones, but this was actually, an event, a face-to-face event. And I've told people, I just decided, you know what, I'm making all my events virtual until that thing comes in. I don't want to schedule them and reschedule and postpone them. And to be honest, I don't think there's going to be any trade shows for a while. And I'm an event guy. I hate to say that, but I just don't see a brand saying, yeah, sure, go down to Fort Lauderdale for 3 days. You go drink beers with your buds and hang out. Those days are over.
Yeah.
You know what? You want to go down to Fort Lauderdale? Go on the site, do the punch list, and get on the plane. If there's an event there, be safe, wear your mask, and make sure you don't bring the bug back to, to your home or to your office, and get everybody sick.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
so it's, 3 to 5 years from now, you might not even recognize what retail is, let alone, doing events. And, I think this is, the pendulum has swung to digital.
It has.
Once everything, it's going to come back, but I don't know how far it's going to come back. Just like I'm a printer, I do a small print run. I used to do 5,000 copies. I do a little one, but I push it out to thousands of people. I had a guy call to me and he goes, David, where's my print magazine? I said, well, I only do a small one. I've gone to 100, 150,000 people a month. He goes, oh yeah, print's never coming back. I'm like, well, I'm old school. I still want to I do a small one because I still like having it in my hands, But the new people coming in, they don't look at they don't even know what a magazine is. They want it on their watch, their tablet, their phone. My kid's all in his bed like this. So it's everything's changed, and and some of it's been positive. Some of it, you just got to deal with.
Yeah, I know we've talked a lot about what the world's going to look like later. Yeah, I think it is going to be a hybrid. I mean, you're right. It's swung to one way, but I think there's things that we've lost that we want back. There's things we've also gained that we're not letting go, kind of thing. So I think there will be a hybrid, whether that's, 3 days in the office and 2 days at home, or 2 days at home and 3 days in the office. Events, I'm an event guy too. I don't know when they're coming back, but we're trying to think of ways to meet new people. Golf tournament. I'm seeing the first golf tournament come up that, it's half the people there and everybody's going to be masked up, but, everybody has their own golf cart. We're going to see what it's like,
You know what the most thing ironic about golf is? They make you go and play in your own golf cart. And then when you you sink your last putt on the 18th hole, then you go to the picnic table and you can social distance right next to each other, drink a beer and have a hot dog. What's wrong with that picture, man? I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Playing golf by yourself, afterwards you could get really close. I don't know. It was funny. I go to my sister's, and I go into my parents' house. No one has masks on. Then my sister-in-law and her boyfriend come in, and they got their masks on. And then they kept their mask on in the house. And I'm like, we don't have COVID. Take the mask off, And then finally they did, and to eat. And then they put it back on to go outside. And I'm like, you're outside. There's no one around. But what was wild was Tennessee didn't have to wear the mask. But when you went into Kentucky, you had to have the mask on. And then the coolest thing was at the hotel, because I hadn't stayed at a hotel since March. Mm-hmm. The reservation, it was like a convenience store with bulletproof vests, and I was in a Hilton Garden Inn, brand new. And so they checked me in, had to have my mask on. And then when I went up into my room, they have a seal on the door that your room has been sanitized and no one else has been in there, which was very cool that I didn't know. And but I was still cognizant of like pushing the elevator button because everybody in the hotels touch it. It's got more germs than your toilet does. Yeah. And so there's all those little things that you think that you didn't think about before that you have to think about now. But that was the first time I had gone and spent my night at the hotel. And it was just interesting, but it was cool to see how they kind of did things. And I think they're doing the best that they can, And I know some people were aggravated that, they had to wear that, I haven't really, down here, I've really worn my mask. A lot of people haven't. But up there, I brought it with me. When I stopped to get gas and hit the restroom, I had to wear it to go in there. Big deal. That's not the end of the world, So, but the bug, it's here. We got to deal with it, and hopefully, so leaving our listeners, if you had to leave them with one word or a thought, what would it be?
David, for me, it's be bold, be innovative. We're always reinventing ourselves through our life, through our career. Just embrace it. We've got to see what your neighbor's doing, take the good, leave the bad, and be bold about it.
And I guarantee that's what the Arkansas football coach is telling their guys right now, man, before the season starts, man. Be bold, be in, and take no prisoners. Leave it all on the field. Don't leave it in the locker room.
Absolutely.
Mine's never quit. It's got to just win, baby. I'll take a pretty win or an ugly win. It's still a W. Take it. As long as you're winning on the scoreboard, that's the way it's got to be. Chip, if someone wants to get in touch with you, talk about all the innovative ideas and practices that CEI offers, how would someone get in touch with you?
Yeah, first you could go to our website, CEIENG.com. Also on LinkedIn, but my email address is cashley@CEIENG.com. My cell number is 770-365-1073. But yeah, LinkedIn, email, website, it'll link over to me.
And you kept the Atlanta number. Way to go. We like it,
Right.
So,
No reason to change your cell phone when you move anymore, right?
no, I've had the same phone. I've been with Sprint for 20 years. I haven't changed it once. I'm like, I have a 404 number. I was here, getting a 404 number. You know where I've been here long enough. But, hey, everybody, if you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at davidc@ccr-mag.com. If you're not a subscriber, up on my toolbar at ccr-mag.com, hit the subscribe button, become a subscriber. Got a great issue. My August issue is just went to press, and it's going live on Wednesday. We're always looking for stories. If you got something cool that you think that our readers should know about, send it to me. I'll post it up in the web. Make it in the magazine is very tough these days, but we're monthly. We're always looking for stuff. Content is king. Got 14,000 pages of stuff up there. So if you got something cool, send it to me. You never know what might end up in ink digitally or, up on the social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. We got them all. So with that said, Chip, pleasure talking to someone in Bentonville, Arkansas. And we wish the Razorbacks good luck in the fall. And to everybody out there, the fourth quarter's coming. Got the nice fall weather. Hopefully the summer heat's going to come down. No more hurricanes for anybody. We're thinking about all the people in Louisiana that got hit down there, on the coast that, they're going to have to rebuild that stuff. So that's good for construction. I know it's a pain in the butt. They don't have power and all that, but they're going to get through it and they're going to come back better and stronger than ever, just like the country is with COVID. And we want everybody to have a safe and happy and fun. Spend some time this weekend on Labor Day weekend. You've all worked your tails off. You earned it. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight from Atlanta. And Chip, say goodnight from Bentonville, Arkansas.
Good night from Bentonville, guys.
And to all you commercial construction coffee talk fans, we really appreciate you listening to our podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Google, and Apple. Tune in, listen on your radio. I always stream the video portions on our social media. So once again, thank you for finding us. Have a great rest of the week. Holiday weekend coming up, and let's finish the year off strong. Finally get the election over with. I'm just sick of all the commercials. Let someone win and move on. Make sure everybody, and there's a winner. I don't want to wait for 4 months. Let's count the ballots, decide who's going to be the president, move on. That's all I'm going to say. And have a great rest of the week. Chip, thanks for chiming in. All you people out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk, we really appreciate you. Without you, I have no show. So we really appreciate you being a listener. And have a great week. And we will catch you next time on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. Chip, I will see you sometime in person. Okay?
Awesome,
Sooner rather than later. Okay?
Yes, sir. Sound
all
like
right. We'll see everybody next time. Talk to you later.